bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Welcome into a World's Finest Wednesday edition of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the Manor owning one. I don't know.
Mannered owning.
Like you own a manor. The mild.
I see.
The mild mannered Mike.
Now I know where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got way too creative for myself. So the mild mannered Mr. Mike.
Mild mannered Mr. Mike. Yep, that's me. That's me. I'm the one who
keep
turns
adding
into
crap.
And as you just heard, the golden
Masan.
tones of wait, did you say your son?
No, Masan.
Oh, my son. Of the not so mild mannered Mason.
No, he's terrible.
Well, okay.
He's so mean to everyone.
Maybe if everyone stopped being a bunch of B words.
Ooh, B words.
Buttholes.
Especially you,
Bing
Jake.
bongs.
You are a big B word, Mike.
Oh, boy.
Just the biggest.
I got put in my place.
No, I'm going to pick a specific listener. Aaron. Male or female, but we know we have one person named Aaron. You.
E or A?
You suck.
Well, either
no, male or female, either or. Whoever, if you're listening to this and your name's Aaron, you suck.
Okay, well, see,
wow,
that's what you can get from
poor
Mason.
Aaron.
As he,
mine was always Jeff.
We always went after Jeff. Jeff's the guy
Jeff
we always went
sucks.
after. What we have here is a World's Finest Wednesday. Sorry, Aaron. A World's Finest
Jeff.
Wednesday edition, everybody, of the podcast with Mike, Mason, and I. And what we're looking at today is we're continuing. I brought in the wrong one. I'm going to have to bring in, I don't have it, but that's okay. We've been covering the Batman Annual from 1961.
Batmanual.
It's the second ever Batmanual. And what
I'm
we're
very
doing,
proud of that.
I know you are.
I can't be the first one.
I
No,
hate
you
the
for sure can't be the
concept of
first one.
annuals, Zach, because I can never because it's a whole. Sometimes they're either part of a story or they're a random thing, or they're teasing something.
He loves monthlies.
So
but he hates annuals.
Well, I appreciate this. I was telling Mike, trying to explain annuals of where now they can be like their own separate like storyline, but at least back in the day when they first started doing them, is they used that extra issue that they needed to print, and they just made like a collection of old stories. So these first Batman annuals that they did are just old collections of like random stories from like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So they haven't even started of the whole
before they started reprinting.
Exactly. This you need to get your Batman annual, and the story is going to continue in your Aquaman annual, and the next story is going to be in your Flash annual for this year. It's not like that. These are just like all. Like, I think it connects 8 stories. I was trying to find one.
One year, my mom found all my Flash annuals under my bed. She was pissed.
I bet.
Oh no, wait! I'm sorry. Those are Flesh annuals. I'm sorry. That's not Flash.
That's
sorry.
thought.
In my head, it gets all mixed up.
I got you. I need to put these in. I didn't have them as separate ones. That is
Look
what
at
we're
him in
gonna
that
cover.
kilt.
But no, what I wanted to do was
Look at Robin
bring
standing
up-
there being stupid.
Yeah, there we go. I wanted to bring up the annual cover. I'm sorry.
Golly gee, Batman. That's a dress.
Yeah, it is 1960. It comes out in it's the last issue of 61 into 62 because that's how you got that terrible the calendar that we covered where the staples are right in the fold of it. But so this is the annual.
Right where is woo is
the 80-page annual that we are covering. And what we are doing is I'll go ahead and I'll show you the table of contents.
I was walking back from my mailbox the other day, so a very short trip, right, from my house to my mailbox and
I
back.
did it again.
And I
get gassed.
I
halfway
said
through.
out loud, "Batman, fish." Just said it out loud. Because we covered one, Mason, where they got into the bottom of the ocean and then ended up in a fish tank somewhere. And I just said, Robin seems like that guy who's always just like, oh, yeah, Batman, look, fish. Like, just he's an idiot.
You're going to love Robin in this.
Oh, I bet.
The last World's Finest I was on, I believe, was the one where it's Batman, his old college buddies, and one of them tries to kill them all on a boat.
Yeah, I love we'll bring Mason on for a random World's Finest. And yeah, it was Batman's college years where he invited like his old college buddies on a yacht and then was like, hey, I've set up mines out here and I've broken the steering wheels. I'm about to die. We're just going to crash into a mine and you're going to die with me.
It's a boat with 5 people, and then Bruce appears and Batman shows up and no one questions
suspects
where
it.
Batman came from.
Oh,
I
that's
was
why
here for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Where we're
that
just-
was the last one I was on.
Yeah, we're just
okay.
recapping it. It's Batman's college days.
That was the last good
Batman's a
episode.
dick. Robin's an idiot. I mean, that's really
Especially, or like
that's all you
Silver
have to
Age.
know about these.
But
Superman's a terrible person whenever
is
he
an
shows
a-hole
up.
at times. He's so much better now. Like, that's the thing, is I see the trailer. I love how people are just looking at the table of contents for this. We're covering Lord of Batmanor, or as it describes it, a centuries-old mystery endangers the lives of the dynamic duo when Batman inherits a castle in Scotland.
What?
And this is from our Detective Comics issue number 198. But
What? I could look. I'm gonna look up what.
yeah,
Don't look up, Robin.
I'm bringing it up right now, so I have everything in front of me. I've done this. You would think with me doing this as much as we do that I would remember that, oh, yeah, I want to go ahead and talk about who did things and who wrote stuff and who were the artists for these. And then I always forget until we get right into it, even though I do it every single week. So Detective Comics issue 198, our story that we are focusing on. Sorry, Mike, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Batman, the Lord of Batmanor.
I just have a thought.
Which is written by Leigh Brackett and Edmond Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Penciler is Mike's favorite, Dick Sprang.
Dick Sprang.
Inker is Gene McDonald and Charles Paris, and letterer is Pat Gordon, and the editor was Jack Schiff at the time. Our cover was
days
a
of
Win
Inkers.
Mortimer cover there. Yeah, the days
Traditionally, kilts are worn by themselves. There's nothing. You don't wear anything under a kilt.
I believe so. Yeah.
So let's think about the fact that there's Bat Dong just flying around all free and easy here.
Well, we've seen Bat Dong on the show.
Right.
We've
This is
covered it.
way before this.
Yeah, this is like 50 years before this.
Wait,
Because
did you
when
guys
Bat
cover
Dongs
that
were a little
first issue
smaller.
of Black Label?
We covered Batman Damned. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did the whole story of Damned, but we did take a moment to talk about the controversy.
Batwiener!
You know one thing I really regret, Zach? I
Is-
could have bought that.
The issue
I,
one?
I almost bought it. I regret to this day not buying it because of Mike and future issues and future reprints they just edited
It's
it
just
out.
black, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
They're
also
just
want
shadows.
you to look at one thing. Robin's kilt is longer, and I'll tell you why. Robin is he's well endowed.
That's what I thought you were
He's
going
very stupid, but he's well endowed.
Isn't that how that usually goes?
Yeah,
I think
that's
it
what
is-
I'm saying.
Well, I think that's kind of Burt Ward. So,
He drives a Corvette. Sure, that's it.
anyway, this lovely story.
Burt Ward.
Dick, I brought up Dick Sprang, and we are going to
Sprang.
we are going to have an issue of the show here soon. I love calling them issues.
An
like
all
the
Dick
actual
Sprang
comics.
issue?
Well, no, but to talk to you about Dick Sprang a little bit, but not just Dick, but also about Jerry Robinson and also about Bill Finger. I know we've you're
Bill
laughing.
Finger, Dick Sprang. Make your own jokes.
Okay, that's fine. I know
This is
that
a DIY podcast.
know-
Put your own jokes together.
That's good. I know that we have dived into it a little bit, but just the audacity in a way of Bob Kane, who was listed as the creator
Yeah.
of Batman.
The Soul creator.
The
He showed up
soul-
like once a week.
The soul, no, not even that.
Yeah.
Because like, thankfully on here, as I gave you all of those titles, you'll notice Bob Kane's not listed at all. I'm pretty sure this is one of them.
Where'd that
though,
King go?
to show off though. But if you look at there, who's
Ooh.
the only name on the story you see
Bob
down there
Kane.
at the bottom right? It is Bob Kane.
Bob Kane.
So,
I don't like
And
that.
people say Stan Lee was bad about giving credit.
exactly.
I don't like
Here's
that
the thing.
picture at all.
Well, just wait. We'll get into the
Too
story.
much going on.
There is a lot going on.
That sea monster's stupid.
When Superman was created in the early 30s, 37 was Superman. We got Batman in 39. We got Batman from Bill Finger. What we got from Bob Kane was the name Batman. That is what I will give him. It was a guy in a red suit with mechanical bat wings and a domino mask and blonde hair.
Right.
And Bill Finger said, "All right, you have an idea here. Why don't we make it? Why don't we make it darker? Why don't we give him a cape and a cowl? Why don't we not make it wings? Why don't we make it? Why don't we give him gloves and gauntlets and a utility belt? Why don't we call him Bruce Wayne? Why don't we make Why don't we have his parents die in an alley?" So what we get from Bob Kane is Batman, the name.
Batman's
I will
cape,
give him that.
Batman cape. Batman
very
cape.
big.
Batman's cape is very weird in this picture.
But when DC wasn't giving Seeger and Schuster, I always get the creative team
Like
for
Simon
Superman
and Schuster is what you're
confused.
thinking, yeah.
It's yes, Seeger and Schuster, Siegler and Schuster. Sorry, they weren't giving them credit for Superman, and they weren't paying them what they should for it. I think one of them went to Bob Kane and told him like, "Hey, like we're gonna do this set like so we can come at DC and be like, hey, you owe us for all the money you're making off of our characters.
Right.
And then we're gonna bring Bob Kane in on this, like the not deal, but the suit they were gonna bring up against DC.
Right.
Bob Kane goes to DC and goes, hey, if you just make me that like I'm the sole creator of everything Batman and that's the only name that shows up there, I'm not gonna be with him. Like I'll just sign whatever deal you want me to.
Wow.
And so he undermined them,
What a
and
guy.
so they did that. And so he would have ghost artists that would draw for him and ghost writers. Like he never did anything with it. Essentially, all he would do is if he saw a cute girl at the bar that he liked, he would go up and do a little sketch of Batman. And that's
Batman.
That's the only damn time he drew Batman.
Wow.
So, but yet he gave a damn more about his stupid clown paintings. That's stupid's kind of mean, but he cared more about clown paintings than
All
he did
clown
anything
paintings
Batman.
are stupid clown
He
paintings.
was very much so, I'm going to make a buck. I want to be famous. However I do it is fine. And then he just made it all off all these ghost artists. Like if you go and you look back, almost all the Batman stories you look at that are drawn, especially the world's finest ones early on, because he took them from, or Dick Sprang. Like, but he never got
Sprang.
credit for it. Jim Steranko tells the story years later of being able to actually going up and doing something. He goes, and I got to do something that I'm sure all of those guys got to do. And he essentially bitch slapped Bob Kane at a Comic-Con. But, yeah. Anyway, we're going to have to dive into just the ins and outs of it because it's so fascinating to me. But we're not going to focus on that. No, we're going to focus on something a lot sillier today, which is this story. The Lord of Batmanor, which I love when they give you the title of it, how they have Lord in like the...
Tartan.
Yes. Thank you. Tartan.
Yeah.
They don't do that much anymore these days. That's one thing that we've lost.
Yeah. The like intro page on comics kind of thing.
Sort of the intro. Well, they still have intro pages, but I mean like having fun with fonts.
Oh, no,
They
that's
don't-
true. That's true.
Sometimes some things do, but not as much as you will.
Long John Silver's always had great tartan sauce.
The tartar.
Oh, sorry.
Tartar.
you
No,
call me?
you're right on that. I was gonna say though, when we read Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, we loved how they would do the lettering. Well, speaking
Very
of fonts,
emphatic.
Yeah.
Beneath the trees, nobody sees.
Yeah, I was speaking more purely just big too, like,
Yeah.
indie
Yeah.
image stuff. They
Oh,
can
yeah.
do whatever
Yeah.
you want.
but it was so cool that they would have like the words like fall off a page and like things like that.
Fun
Do
with
things
fonts.
Fun with fonts.
Yeah.
Or like when Saga, where they have where like
That's
on
my
top of the
next book.
actual stories,
Yes.
they have they have her telling her like handwritten biographies,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
No, I do like that.
Yeah.
What we get is
Fun with fonts.
we go to Scotland is where our story opens up, obviously, because
Yeah.
it's a castle in Scotland. Fate weaves a strange future for Batman and Robin, and the tangled thread begins in an ancient castle. So we see that there's a bunch of bats flying overhead this castle, and that's how we find out that this castle has become to get the name Bat Manor.
Oh,
So this is Bat Manor in Scotland.
what a coinky dink.
We
I mean,
see
it wouldn't surprise me if the Waynes owned
something in Scotland.
some in Scotland. yeah.
Maybe. On this night, the old lord of Batmanor, Angus McLaughlin, lies dying with
Can't get any more
one
Scottish than that.
one great regret on his mind.
Never
And-
tried haggis.
And that's it. I always wanted to. Try, but haggis, yeah. It's Mr. Smathers, the American detective, sir, is what his...
Mr. Smathers.
Mr. Smathers. Not Smithers, Smathers. And so he's like, oh, maybe he's kind of finally figured out the riddle that I asked him to solve. And the detective comes in and he's like, I'm sorry. It goes, with Sam Smathers, American scientific detector. I don't know what scientific detective is. But he tells the guy, like, I'm sorry. Like, I tried all I could, but I couldn't solve the McLaughlin mystery. After all, who could solve a mystery that's 4 centuries old?
Right. I mean, who can?
Who could? And the
Batman.
old man tells him, well, the family honor of it will never be cleared
Kane.
then. And Bob Kane. It's rested so long, and we get to hear the story of what happened. It was 400 years ago that the McLaughlin of Bat Manor was entrusted with the royal gold.
I will say I like the wavy outline around the boxes, so you know it's like a throwback.
There are...
It's
can
like
you
a
see kind of
Scooby Doo
this?
kind of
Yeah, I
thing.
can see
That kind of thing.
Exactly. So they do that with thoughts, and they do another thing with some red circles that I enjoyed later when we get to it. But he tells him he was entrusted with the royal
His
gold.
head's in a red circle.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
But it also kind of...
Yeah. Well, it gives
was
you the
there,
idea
yeah.
it's a storyteller and all that stuff, and you only have to show.
They use it with Robin later, and I think it works
That's
well.
a thing from.
But the
this
one with
era
Robin-
that is, I'm kind of glad is gone.
Oh, the speech, like the wavy around, or
No,
the head and
the head with the speed. bubble,
yeah, they did do it a lot. I don't know. I like it sometimes.
I like it
the-
sometimes, but I think nowadays what most things do is they just have like a logo and a colored bar.
Oh, yeah.
The one with Robin, though, later, it's like, Batman, I've been sitting on my hand, and now I can't feel it.
It's called The Stranger,
Yeah.
Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get
Leave me alone for 20 minutes.
this one and last time, this week and last, or this, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
hate
I'm just
Robin.
moving on. Yeah, I know that.
Robin sucks.
But what happens is the ancestor hit it too well. And when he was killed during the wars and they came back to get the royal gold, they couldn't find it anywhere.
Where the hell is it?
And so a lot of people, it says, thus was born the suspicion that the McLaughlins had stolen it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they felt the need to include this panel, and it's just like, I'll not foregather with the McLaughlins who stole the king's treasure, nor I. And that's all it is. Like,
Yeah.
you could have just said it. Like, we don't need to. We believe
no,
you.
Scotland ain't
panel.
that big. It's
Yeah.
like you could find
They've
it.
already committed to the 6 panels.
They have
mean-
for the whole story.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do what we got to do. We had to fill something there. And he goes, for 400 years, we've been accused wrongly of theft. I hope that you could, like, clear our name. And he's like, I'm sorry. I used every scientific detective device known.
I used a calculator. I used a ballpoint pen.
I used 2 calculators.
I used 2 calculators because I couldn't find the other calculator.
It was really hard because
I-
they weren't easy.
I taped them to the ballpoint pen.
Using a calculator to find another calculator doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you that. But I had to find that out.
I even pulled out an abacus.
There you
abacus?
go. That's what I was going for. I was going to say I tried an abacus.
Apple peeler. All the science things.
Tea leaves.
That machine that goes zzzt, zzzt, zzzt. Yeah.
The old
fax machine?
credit card machines with the carbon paper. That
Like
you had to
Frankenstein. Where it shoots
Made
the
the
lightning.
carbon copy?
Bzzzt, bzzzt, that thing.
like the coil. It's
Well,
like a coil.
yeah,
it's like a
but
Tesla
it always
coil
had
in a
2
way.
rods, just like Robin.
Like
It always had 2
Furman?
rods, and it would go.
A theremin? What's the thing that they play?
Theremin.
Theremin.
Wah,
Yeah.
wah. I ever tell you the story about a drunk guy who tried to abscond with a theremin
Please
in
tell me
Austin?
No.
That's it. That's the whole story.
Oh, okay.
I was at a show and the guy tried to steal a theremin.
Didn't get too far with it.
You can't steal a theremin. That's silly.
So he used all those scientific detective devices.
Mm-hmm.
But then the old man goes, wait, there's one detective who could solve the ancient riddle. Batman.
They should say his name bigger.
Batman of America.
Of
Because-
America.
because
Not that South American
not the
Batman.
not Bad Hombre.
Not Bad Hombre. He lives on the side of a hill.
No, it was
You
underneath
can't trust a guy who lives on the
underneath
side of a
grotto,
hill.
Yeah. Oh man. So Batman of America.
You mean Batman Indian Chief? No. Don't get him. Don't
Here's
get
the
him.
thing I found, Mike, in reading this one, and in this Detective Comics issue that I read, I didn't include it, but they do like to give ads like for other issues. I might have found another one. It was Batman of the Mounties that we're gonna have to
Ooh.
cover at some point. in
Very
time.
nice.
And it's just like this
In a
mount.
sticky situation
And no-
up north.
No, the cover is like this Mountie's been shot, and it's 2 hunters hiding in the woods, and Batman and Robin are just on skis, just like going by.
Oh, well, I mean, take any chance you get to have a vacation.
Oh,
You
man.
know?
Anyway, so
Looks like we're in danger, Batman. Hey.
Hey, hold on. This is a black diamond. I don't think I'm ready for this, Batman. Where was I? Oh,
What's
so,
a black diamond, Batman? Whoa!
So-
he just goes down all goofy style on the mountain. Whoa!
Like, yeah. So Detective Smathers says Batman, but he'd never come to Scotland. And he goes, yeah, well, I'll see that he does. I'll bequeath this castle to him.
Oh!
And then, as
Why
Lord
don't you
of
just ask him
as
first?
Lord, nope, he's just going to bequeath stuff.
Instead, I'll just give him a whole ass castle.
What about
Here.
everyone else who lives there?
Nope. Batman's your
It's
Lord
got to be
now.
Batman of America. Wait a minute.
You
Are
all,
you talking?
you all bow at the cowl of Batman
Are you
now.
talking about that wet Batman? No, not that one either.
Not the wet Batman.
Don't get wet Batman.
And so he signs them over, and then he dies. And so we go that night in a nearby town. Sam Smathers, alleged detective now, secretly telephones to certain shady friends in America, and he's like, "Get over here to Scotland on the first plane. There's a fortune waiting, but I can't get it out myself." We see in Gotham that reporters are asking Batman, "Are you leaving to claim your inheritance? You won't be away permanently, will you?" And then Batman tells all of his fans, like, "Hey, everybody calm down. I'll have a statement for you soon. Right now, I'm seeing Commissioner Gordon." Here's what I love about these comics, Mike, because
He just goes like this. There he is.
Yep. All right.
He's
Now, my
Batman.
statement. I just love that he just shows up, and Commissioner Gordon's always like, because Batman's like, frankly, I feel that obligated now to go over there since it's my castle.
Batman, come in.
And Commissioner Gordon goes, I understand, Batman. And since you cleaned up Gotham, like, you can go. Take as long as you want to.
Yeah.
That's the thing in these stories.
We're all good here, Batman.
Is we have stories now where Gotham is maybe
Never
the
safe.
shittiest place to live ever.
Sure.
And you can never leave. To where back in the 50s, something happened that is not Batman's
Well,
fault,
there were
obviously.
Fewer people.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just overpopulation?
That and meth. Sure.
I think it is.
Yeah, it might have been some
No.
meth.
Is it Frank Miller effect?
It's the Frank Miller made Gotham terrible. Back in the 50s, you wanted to live in Gotham. There was no crime because Batman got rid of all of it. You know. Anyway, so he decides to go out, and as they get to Scotland, they notice, wow, there's a fire down there. Somebody points out, look, the dry heather's on fire. And they're like,
Dry heather.
it'll cross the narrow road.
That poor girl.
And poor dry heather. It'll cross the narrow road and burn up.
Jake was never doing his job.
No, 2 weeks in a row. So it'll cross the narrow road and burn up our whole village before we get there.
Yeah, she
Oh
will.
no!
And then as we see Detective Smathers, who's not Detective Smathers.
Or Dick Tracy, whichever. Yeah.
He's like, that fire we started will draw everyone away from the castle to the village, and then we'll get our chance to go into the castle. But don't worry, Batman and his bat plane, they decide, you know what, we're going to start a backfire. That's right. Batman shows up to Scotland, and his first idea is, you see that fire? Let's start another fire.
So he wants to start a backfire, which is something that like forest firefighters do.
Yes.
They start a fire to end the one inside it, right?
And that is exactly what he does there. He starts a fire with the bat plane that the fire will stop at the road, and then when the fire that's burning above it gets there, it'll just come out because it's already
Gee whiz,
burnt.
Batman, I thought fire was the problem. Shut up, Robin.
And so all the creatures look on, and they're like, well, Batman ruined our scheme with that damn backfire. All right, don't worry. My next scheme
Because,
will
boy, it goes out quick.
And he goes, my next scheme will for sure work. I love that they have a panel like Batman and Robin walking across this moat,
Yeah.
like waving to everybody.
Hi.
But they're waving to everybody in kilts. Like, that's
Hi,
all that's there in
everybody.
Scotland in the 50s is just everybody in
Hi.
kilts. But, so...
Little sea monster over there going, hello.
Yeah, hey, I'm Nessie. But as he gets there, this woman goes, "You'll
Nessie."
fail. You'll fail as the other Outlanders failed to like
Yeah.
solve this. The Iron Giant who walks Batmanor will make you fail." And then he's like, "Wait,
We're nothing if not negative.
It's like, what is this place? Is this place haunted?" And the guy at the castle is like, "Oh, a lot of people think they are. It's the guy. It's the old Lord of the Manor trying to find where he hid the gold. You know what I mean?
Not as haunted
Trying to
as
find the guy.
most.
You gotta love these old comics because again, a foreign plane just showed up on this country's doorstep, entered their
Yeah.
airspace.
Yeah.
Well, they're expecting Batman
It's
from
fine.
America.
It's Batman from America. It's fine.
He can do whatever he wants. So
Come on in, Batman. Here's some
see,
haggis.
here's the thing for you, Mike, because I always love these issues too, where they go other places because somebody dusted off their encyclopedia and they want to tell you stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just moments where Batman just teaches Robin things about Scotland.
Because
So,
you have to, because
yeah.
Robin's an idiot.
So that night in
Dick
Slo-
Spring spent a summer there. He's like, I want
he
to share
might have.
this.
He might have. You know, he did. I think he did
No,
explore a lot.
he spent spring there.
He sprang and spring.
He's Dick Spring.
Robin tells Batman as they're going through the shadowy castle that I feel strange in this plaid kilt. To which Batman says, it's not plaid, but tartan.
Oh.
Each Scottish house has its own tartan pattern.
Sure.
And the sporran, or pouch front, takes the place of pockets. Let's go into dinner. Like, that's all it is. He just tells you about what you're wearing, and then let's go into dinner. Because somebody had the encyclopedia to tell you about
Now
kilts.
you've learned something, Robin. Sit down.
I mean, I did learn
Come
something.
on, you
so that's
dumb
kinda
dildo. Let's go eat some food.
Dumb dildo. Jesus.
Oh, man. Well, look at him. Like, he talks to him so just like, he has that.
Because
fun.
Robin's
It's
an
like,
idiot.
why did I adopt this freaking kid?
Robin is a moron.
Come
That's
on,
why.
Dick. So,
Why couldn't you die with your parents?
and then, Robin at dinner goes, wow, what dinner music. I wish I could play one of those bagpipes.
That's what you're eating to.
To which Batman tells him, like,
Beautiful, Batman.
we better turn in early. Like, we're going to start our search in the morning. Later, when the boy Wonder slips from his room, I'd like to try out one of those bagpipes. And what? He sees a suit of armor. He sees a suit of armor running
sneaks
away.
out. He sneaks
snuck
out
of
to
his
try a
room
bagpipe.
to try playing bagpipes. He chases after a suit of armor, to which the suit of armor punches him in the face
Good.
He's a
Good.
child.
He should get punched in the
and
face.
knocks him out. Okay?
You can't
Moments
play
later,
a bagpipe, dumbass. Get
moments
out of
later,
here.
it's like Robin's coming through, like holding his jaw, and he's like, "It was the Spectre, all right, and it whacked me a good one." And Batman's like, "Ghosts don't usually have solid fists, Robin. We'll look into it. I don't think you got hit by a ghost, little buddy."
How did
Robin,
Batman
look
know to
person.
find him? Like, did he just find him? And
Robin,
just
let's
wake
talk
him
about
up,
the
I
word
guess?
specter.
And then he goes through and he goes, our Batman, he's filling up on this wall, and he goes, "I thought the fact that this part of the wall had no dust on it might mean a secret door.
Could be.
There's a passage going down into the wall." But to me, I view it as he's walking around the wall, and there's this door-shaped place that has no
That's
dust.
probably the door.
And there's dust everywhere around it. And so it's so easy to tell, but Batman's like,
Well, he is the world's greatest detective.
he is. He is
Like
the world's
like in
greatest.
old Scooby-Doo cartoons where they
I'd
gotta
s-
find the bookshelf, and there's one that's painted just different.
That's what I said in
Exactly.
the last one. I'm ready for the mystery machine to show up. Yeah.
And so they go down there, and the guy who like works the castle with him goes like, "No, sir, everyone knows about this old secret passage, and every inch of it has been searched." And
Yeah,
he's like,
dumbass.
"Well, we'll look for it anyway." And they follow it out to a road, and they notice tire marks. And he goes, "A car came here
Tire marks on a road?
with,
What?
with the Iron Giant." And he turned around, and they went away again. And he
Oh.
goes, "It was a British car, but the driver was an American." Well,
Wait, how the
we
hell do you
might
know
as well
that?
go back to bed. And it says, "What's that?" And it says, "What's that? How can Batman tell a man's nationality from his car
Oh,
tracks?"
Yeah. How
Oh,
can
it
he?
actually asked that.
Tell us. Tell us.
It's you gotta wait.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
damn it!
You gotta wait. It's like that one, the issue that we had where it's like, "How did Batman do this?" And it likes to tell you.
Yeah.
It likes to show you how smart he is. Well, Batman's taking out
Robin, get behind that octopus ink.
Batman's taking out a stethoscope to listen to the castle walls.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and you see your third panel there. Batman has a stethoscope in hand, listening to the castle walls, and he just goes, "Nothing in this armory but solid stone walls." I guess he's trying to find hollow walls.
Well, Mike, this is why he's the greatest detective, because he does the dumb stuff like this.
But you can't just tap on it.
Then Robin's hiding a giant claymore that's apparently man-sized, that's bigger than him, and he does not topple over from it. Then we get a panel. It goes, "And at the bottom of the moat, nope, there's nothing down here." That's it. They just wanted to draw Batman with like a scuba suit on. And then
Nope, nothing in here.
I drew a blank in the castle. Maybe I'll have better luck with the tower and the grounds. And the guy who runs the castle tells him the ancient clock tower is one of the prized relics of Bat Manor.
Sure.
The great clocks run for many days before the great weights have to be drawn up again. And he goes, with all these places searched for 400 years, it hardly seems likely that the gold is still to be found. But then as Batman gets up there, he's like, or as the guy tells him, "As you see, there's nothing up here." He goes, "Right, you are, but an acid stain on the floor. I wonder." Abruptly, a penetrating cry sounds from the
Stain on
castle.
floor.
And you hear screech. And they're like, "That ghastly scream. I never heard one like it. Something's happened." And Robin's back there. We have to hurry to get it. And Batman shows up to see Robin playing the bagpipes.
There you go. Batman, isn't it beautiful?
And he just goes, "Hi, Batman. I'm practicing on this thing." And Batman goes,
What an idiot this kid
Batman
is.
goes, "I thought someone was being murdered."
Yeah. No, Batman.
He goes, "If you must play that, do it outside the castle." And Robin just kind of like pouts, and he's like, "Oh, all right. If a musician can't practice here, I'll find some place where
Now
no
he's
one
a
can hear
musician.
me."
I'm starting to question his
Frickin'
dedication to the
bagpipe.
mission.
So he hops on a boat, and he paddles the boat out into the water. And he goes, he finds seclusion out on the misty bay. That's right. Robin decided to just take a boat out in the water to practice his
Wait,
his
this bay,
bagpipes.
is this like to the Atlantic Ocean, or is this a lake they have?
Well,
I
this
think
is
it's
the
a
only
lake they
way
have.
that you're going to get Nessie into
Yeah.
this whole thing. Yeah.
And
that's
so
what
there's
this is.
fog there, and he notices, he's like, not so good, but maybe I can improve. But what's that? Sounds like a boat. Hold on. It's a sea serpent. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, boy.
So Robin runs back to tell Batman about it. He's like, "But I tell you, we saw it." And he's like, "Yeah, the lad's seen the Loch Ness Monster here at Bat Manor. That's a strange thing." And so they explain, "You see, Robin, there's some people who think that there's a sea monster.
You see, Robin, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
They bird the sea monster." And so he's like, Robin's like, "No, I'm telling you, come on out with me." So Batman goes out there with him, and like where they were with all the fog, and Batman goes, "Okay, come on, Robin. This bit's going on long enough now." And Robin's like, "No, look." And he's like, "There it is." Oh, and they see the sea serpent just floating around. And he's like, "But such a beast can't be unless you were playing your bagpipe when it came towards you. Give me that pipe." And so Batman
Give
plays.
me that pipe.
Give me that pipe. And so Batman takes the bagpipe and starts
That's
playing
when
it.
things got dark in Gotham.
The bagpipe playing?
Well, no, it's just give me that pipe.
Oh,
That's what happened.
oh.
See? Yeah.
When-
This is it. This is the turning point right
When
here.
Batman. Well, here's the thing.
By the way, can I give an art tip real quick? Go ahead. Finish your sentence, and then I'm
I
going
was
to
just
give
going
an
to
art
say,
tip.
Frederick Wortham came out in 1954 with or was it 53? Anyway, about the book saying that the seduction of the innocents or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. Whatever it is right now. I've talked about it before, but about how comics were ruining the youth of America.
Oh, yeah. This is the comic code.
I wonder if he read this issue, saw "Give me that pipe," and was like,
be.
Batman and Robin are in a
Very
relationship.
well could be. The
Would pipe? Would
Now,
pipe
see,
be
that's not the way
associated
I
with
took it.
penis?
I was thinking like crack pipe.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking crack pipe.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking human pipe.
My bad.
Yeah, art tip: when you're drawing a sea monster, no need to give it a butt head and no need to put a horn on its face. I'm just saying, a monster coming out of the ocean that's big and green. That's all you need.
Here doesn't
but
it have
how-
a second horn, like
overkill.
a
But
fang
green is
too?
boring, Mike.
Yeah, it has a snaggle tooth.
Yep.
A single snaggle tooth.
A sniggle
Snaggle nick.
tooth.
Snaggle.
Dive
'Cause
clear,
that's how
Robin.
biology works.
And they dive out of the way, and it crashes in their boat, and then it just kind of drives.
It's not
off.
real. Okay.
And so it just kind of flies off, but it's knocked Batman unconscious. So what he does is he honestly ties the bagpipe around Robin's neck to help it keep him afloat. He goes, it's coming back. I must intercept it, but I can't let Robin drown. Oh, this bagpipe, it's floating. By tying its neck, it'd make good. But if you look down there, like he's tied Robin to the bagpipe and just left it there to keep him afloat. And he swims after.
So Robin can't swim?
Well, he's knocked out.
Oh,
From
okay. All right.
being thrown from the boat.
From hitting the
Yeah.
So the world's greatest detective can't tell this thing's not real.
He can't.
Got it.
The bagpipe will hold Robin up. He will regain his senses in a few moments, but that
He's just
thing
not
is
telling
headed
us,
towards the
Mike.
fishing boats. Got to stop. And as Batman swims towards it, that's where we see Mr. Smathers again, the American detective, goes, that motor-propelled monster I built and operated by my remote supersonic control
Supersonic.
until Batman's bagpipe sounds interfered with the supersonic waves. But now,
Isn't supersonic faster than the speed of sound?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
But now
it's
I can
faster,
direct it.
It's more better than Sonic, at least.
That's true.
It's
I
supersonic.
can direct it to ram the fishing boats. But Batman gets closer because he's like, everybody's going out of the castle to go see the monster. And he's
What's
like,
he give
now,
a shit about ramming the fishing boats?
because they're trying to cause a scene to get people away from the castle so they
Oh,
can go
okay.
in and steal the gold because they know where it's at.
I'm getting lost in this very intricate story.
Yeah. And so Batman, though, he has reached the monster and a mechanical dummy, as I suspected. A real
Oh
serpent.
no, wait, that's Robin.
A real serpent swims by rippling its coils up and down. This one didn't move, but it'll smash the fishing boats if I don't stop it. So
This
he
one-
crawls into
oh,
his
look
mouth.
at it. He's in its head.
By the way, I don't know if you've
Oh.
noticed or not, this whole time Batman has been wearing a kilt.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I love how he's crawling in this thing's mouth to get in its head
And
so he
everybody
can control
And
it.
everybody thinks that it's swallowing him. But he's like, nope, by ripping out these wires, it ought to cut off the power, and the thing's harmless now.
This is so stupid.
And then Robin wakes up, and he's like, now I got to
Wow.
get back to Robin. And he tells him, like a supersonic controlled mechanical fake, but why? And he's like, quick, Robin, to the castle.
How would you know the remote's supersonic?
I don't know. It's Batman's telling him. And he's like,
because he can hear it. Think
He's
about
like-
a bat's hearing.
we could be too late to catch him. And he's like, catch who? And if you're going by that tower clock, there's no hurry, for it's wrong by hours. And Batman says, that's why I know there's no time to waste, because the clock's wrong. Have you figured it all out yet?
No.
I
I know.
haven't
I
really
know
paid
that.
attention
I
to
can
it,
tell you
no.
this:
Fair enough.
that Christopher Nolan's very sad he ever got involved.
We get there to see that they're moving the weights.
He wishes he could write something this freaking
They are
amazing.
moving the weights off of the clock that they wound, because we come to find out what he did. The old McLaughlin was
He hit it on
he
clocks.
had taken all the gold, made it into these weights, and he painted it with lead paint,
Oh.
and then chained it to the clocks. So the gold was there the entire time.
Oh, right there. It's hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, hidden in
Yeah.
plain sight. So they find the gold there.
Wait, so McLaughlin did steal the gold?
Well, he hid it, but he
Oh.
didn't remember where he hid it. So
Oh.
he couldn't remember that he hit it with lead paint. Anyway, they catch the bad guys. Pretty simple. It's like, for all that story, like, there's 4 panels of action.
What else do you call a water pipe?
A bong.
There it is. It's in front of me.
Nice. All right. And so
Sorry.
no, that's fine.
That was really dumb.
And so they end up catching the bad guys and keep them from, stealing the gold. And they give the gold back to Scotland. And it says soon after the criminals have been delivered to the constabulary.
Robin gets the best lines.
I know he does. The gold has been turned over to the government. The McLaughlin ancient debt is paid and their name cleared. And as heir, I'm deeding this castle to the government. Also, to be a memorial monument of old Scotland.
Government.
And the people there tell him there'll be a monument in it to you, to the great Batman of Batmanor. And later, as the Batplane wings homeward across the Atlantic, we find out that Robin has stolen a bagpipe. And he goes, I took it along to practice in our Batcave.
He's created an international incident. Now, before that, when they were getting the guys all together, the bad guys, Robin says, gee, we owe a lot to that clock gong.
He does say that.
Yeah, okay, Robin. Great.
But he tells Batman, I took it along to practice in our Batcave, to which Batman says, oh, no, anything but that.
Honk.
The end.
That's great.
So there you go.
Robin's an idiot.
But we're not done, Mike, because I had an ad for you.
A sprint in time spikes crime.
Another Jim Wise PF adventure story.
Wait, who?
Jim Wise.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I have no clue. If you look up Jim Wise, he is an actor who was born in 1964, which was 11 years after this comic. So I have no clue who this Jim Wise is.
Get your PF canvas shoes today and see for yourself how they help lessen foot and leg muscle strain. What? Nobody cares.
So did you know that PF stands for, where was it at?
Pretty fucking good.
No, the PF, I didn't know this. The PF means Posture Foundation.
No, they're supposed to help you stand up straight?
Well, what they do is lessen foot and leg muscle strain. They increase endurance, which you boys will like, and it helps you go full speed longer. This just sounds like a dick pill ad. All of this sounds like a dick pill ad.
Maybe get your mind off the gutter, Mike.
Get your Viagra today and see for yourself how it helps lessen foot and muscle strain, increase endurance. You'll go full speed longer.
Well, I love
it.
Hey, so seriously, like what? Who's the guy that's in the dick pill ads? The Barry Bonds. Isn't it Barry Bonds?
Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas.
Well,
they're like, it's a big hitter, Frank Thomas.
That's a big hurt. And those aren't
big hurt.
Those aren't dick pills. Those are testosterone pills.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I mean I know they're related, but I mean like they do other things. Like
it's
you
speed
can take
for your wiener is what it is. Yeah, that's all it is.
You can take testosterone for no. Enzyme
wiener speed.
Enzyme were those ones or whatever it was that had Bob, and Bob would smile all the time.
No, I'm talking about the one where they see Frank Thomas out on the golf course.
I know which one you're talking about. They're like, oh, it's the big hurt.
Oh God, it's the big hurt.
And they're like, but they're always the same. All those commercials, and it's always just like, oh, my husband's got low T. Well, I don't have to take it, but I've heard if you have to, like they're all like that.
My husband's got low T. Well, you got big V.
Yeah. We've lost it.
Stop saying that in front of people, Leslie.
We've lost it, so I'm just going to bring it back in. I was just saying it was a PF Flyers ad, and they stopped a hijacking by knocking, like they created an avalanche.
Putting on their fast-ass shoes.
These kids just created an avalanche and then punched the hijackers. Kids, don't get involved in a hijacking.
It'll help you punch hijackers.
Don't listen to these PF Flyers ads. Don't get involved in hijacking.
You see anything bad
If you don't create a crime, you won't have to solve it.
Oh, that's true. There we go.
Kids, remember, if you turn away, if you don't see the crime, you don't gotta save anybody.
That's right. Merry Christmas.
Wow. All right. That is this week's World's Finest Wednesday. As always, thank you guys for taking the time out to watch and listen and hear about the Lord of Batmanor.
Hey, Michael Jordan, what should we do? Oh.
Hold a pen?
He's holding a pen.
Hold a pen.
Michael Jordan, what should we do? Hold a pen.
Hold a pen? Not play bagpipes.
I got the low T. I don't know.
No, he doesn't. He'd be like, I'm Michael Jordan. If your husband has the low T, I don't have.
I thought the T stood for thinking.
Oh, man. I've been reading, and I'm almost done with it, this book on the 90s Knicks.
Yeah. He wasn't on that.
That was it. I don't know.
Oh,
I thought I
okay.
had something there. I mean, played the same era. There you go.
90s Knicks?
He played in the same era as the 90s.
Is this your way of
Knicks.
telling the audience you read things other than comic
read
books?
things other than comics. I am smart-ish.
I don't.
Kind of.
I read
sometimes.
my phone for about 2 to 3 minutes early in the morning, so you understand where I'm at.
Yes. While you're
Yeah.
picking up coffee.
I'm getting rid of a big D. Is what I'm
Oh,
doing with my low T. Yeah, you take that for whatever you want.
'Kay.
I don't care.
Talk about laying some pipe. So,
That's not what I said. It was a big dump. That's what I was saying. A big
oh,
dump.
I got that, Zach. Come
Thank
on.
you.
I think you're just tired.
I knew.
Thanks, Frank
I am
Thomas.
Tired. I am tired. We need to end this.
You're right, Frank Thomas. This is a frictionless wipe.
Thank you. I'm done. If you made it this far, you have way more. You have way more in you than we do, because I'm tapping out with that. Thank you, as always, for taking the time out to listen to this ridiculous podcast that we have, where we are stupid and we talk about comics, and y'all listen, and I can't thank you guys enough for it. Thank you for all the comments, just everything. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
really,
you so
seriously.
much for it.
Yeah.
As always.
Should we mention
stay
BYU
safe.
so we get a bunch of comments also?
Not in this one. We should have mentioned it during the Easter
That's
episode.
true. That's true.
You know what we'll do? I'll find a.
Can we get an all Mormon episode?
So we have learned in sports content that if you just mention BYU, you're going to get views for some reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is BYU again?
Brigham Young University.
Oh. They got nothing better to do, they?
Yeah, no, they're all about BYU. But anyway, until next time. I'll make sure to check out Rogue Media Network and all the other great shows on the Rogue Media Network family.
The jewel of RogueMediaNetwork.com. Bros,
Yes.
foes, and heroes.
Also,
Well, I didn't say
again,
that. Mike
my
said
statement
that.
earlier still stands. Aaron's, male or female,
no,
suck.
no. It's all Jeff. It's all Jeff's fault.
I got no beef with Jeff.
I am
Jeff.
with this being Easter week or the residual. I have no problem with anybody, and I hope both of you, Jeff and Aaron, have awesome times.
Boop, boop.
All right, well,
Michael
that's
Jordan,
all.
what do
You're
you
just-
think?
You're,
Open.
that is total bull crap, Zach.
No, whatever. All right, well, that does it for us. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Golly God, Batman. That's sorry.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.